Hello, and welcome to our second session of our summer webinar series. We are so excited to have you here. Today, we're going to continue the conversation on why promoting your brand to Generation Z is vital to your talent acquisition strategy. My name is Jennifer Kolb, and I'm the Vice President of Business Development at Tallo. And joining me is Jerome Larkins, the Immersion Intern Program Manager with Veterans United. Veterans United is the nation's #1 VA mortgage company with 28 offices nationwide. So if you missed it, 2 weeks ago, we had a great conversation with Publix and talked with them about why their team program is so important, and early talent recruitment is critical to their overall hiring initiatives. And so today, we just want to pick up where we left off. We want to have that same conversation. We've got 20 minutes, so same format. We're not going to show slides or walk through new technology, but instead, we wanted to create a space where everyone has the chance to learn from an expert on early talent development. So I have questions to get us started, but please feel free to add your thoughts and questions into the Q&A so we can make sure we get those answered and make this a very valuable and impactful conversation to help you with your own strategizing and planning. So I want to welcome Jerome to the conversation. Jerome started his professional career in dance, where he spent over 10 years instructing, performing, and facilitating productions in over 18 different countries. After that, he realized he had a passion for people and the service industry. And this passion spilled over into networking and creating long-term business relationships with organizations and employers. Those relationships opened the door for a recruiting opportunity with Veterans United Home Loans. He loves supporting students in their development as professionals and strives to make the recruiting process as fun as possible. Now, Jerome, what an honor it is to have you with us here today. Thank you for joining us. Now, if we were going to say fun, I would start and say, let's hear about the dance career. But I know that we're here to talk about early talent development. So if you wouldn't mind just kicking us off for everyone on the call, give a little context and explain that Immersion internship program that you run.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me. And thank you, Tallo team. This is really an honor, and I'm excited to be here. So at Veterans United Home Loans in 2018, we started an Immersion internship program, which is amazing. So we go around the country and we recruit we're looking at HBCUs, we're looking at veteran organizations, and we're finding mostly a demographic that it may be a little bit of a marginalized groups of people that to bring in to diversify our company and make it really awesome and bring them in to give them experience and expose them to the mortgage industry and what they may not even be looking at or even think that there's an opportunity there. So when we go do that recruiting, we go to all these different campuses and join with all these organizations. We bring these interns in for a summer internship. That internship is coupled with some professional development. So throughout the week, they work in whatever department that they maybe have interest in. If they are interested in HR, they have an internship in HR. If they are interested in sales, they have a production style job. And then every Friday, so for 4 days, they're working in the buildings with their teams. Then on every Friday, they have the professional development. And that's anything from how to navigate working in a corporate setting, how to build a resume, how to build your LinkedIn, how to network, a lot of different things. We're actually doing a golf outing tomorrow because one of the interns was like, well, I got offered a chance to go golf and I've never been golfing before. So I turned it down because I don't know the etiquette. So what do I do? When I'm offered from an exec, hey, I want to take you golfing. I don't know the etiquette. So I turned it down. So I was like, no, it's okay. Well, let's teach them how to golf or just how to navigate that situation. So we're doing that tomorrow. That's basically what the internship looks like. Hopefully at the end of the summer, they're excited about the opportunity and they want to stay with us. So that's what the goal is. The end goal is to get this person to move to Columbia, Missouri, where we are located, and stay with us.
I'm sure there's lots of other selling points on Columbia, right?
Yeah.
um, Yeah, so that's incredible. And hence the word immersion. It sounds like it's so much more than just job shadowing or job experience. So, what are some other kind of creative things like that example? A golf outing. I know you mentioned some professional development, like resume building. When it comes to immersion, what are some other creative things you guys have done?
Yeah. So the word immersion is, yeah, not only immersing them into the mortgage industry, but also the city of Columbia, where we live. So we do tours. There's special tours we've taken, um, of not only the campus of University of Missouri that's located here, but of the city. Trying different restaurants and meeting people, networking with them, and connecting them with a host of people that live here, and not only that work at VU but live in Columbia. Also, we have a few other things. As they're going through the internship, they're working on a project. So we partner with a couple of nonprofits here in town, and they have a project that they have to compete. So we break them up into groups, and they all have a project that they work on throughout the summer. And at the end of the summer, on like the last week that they're here, they do a presentation for those nonprofits, and the executives and their mentors and their managers that they've been working with are invited to that presentation to see the things that they've been working on all summer. And it's a really amazing experience to see them present to some of these nonprofits and what the executives have to say. So that's another little creative fun thing that they get to do as well.
Yeah, that is really neat. So knowing that it's in person there in Columbia, how many students go through the program?
So the first year, 2018, we had 12 interns. So, and then the second year we had 14 interns. That was 2019. And 2020 we didn't do the internship. uh, this year we started it again, and we're at 30 interns right now, currently going through the process. So it's it's pretty fun. The summer is a little hectic, but it's great because they're doing so many awesome things, and I get to kind of help push them along and guide them if they need me. I'm just kind of helping them out and get them immersed into Columbia.
Yeah. No, you just teed up that question that just came in right when you were saying that. So, in that same light, Jerome, we got a question from Matt Brooks. He said, "What do you find the most students um, what do you find that most students have the most anxiety or fear about in regards to entering the professional world?"
Ooh, um, I would say for us is that a bit of a lack of confidence. In our company, we're pretty open, and there's a direct line to your boss or to your manager. So not being afraid to ask questions, being afraid to make mistakes. It's okay. You're gonna mess up. We're all human. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to mess up. And for us, one of the best things about working that I found is the amount of grace that you do get. We understand that we're all learning every day. We're learning, so don't be afraid to ask questions. Move in confidence and be confident in the experience that you have or lack thereof. It's okay if you don't have a whole lot of professional experience, but just embrace that every day. Show up and get everything done that you need to get done, and communicate with the people next to you, your manager. That's going to make it so much easier when you have a connection and it feels like you're not on an island, but you're a part of something bigger than just showing up and doing one job.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so nice to have that inclusive feeling. I know our CEO, Casey, he really leads with the mentality of fail early, fail often, right? You don't grow unless you're failing and you have to try new things and that's okay, right? We learn from it. So I love that culture and collaboration. So I know that this immersion program is super important to Veterans United as a company culture. Um, Tell us a little bit about the mentorship and how that works.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So when we are recruiting and when we hired on these interns, we go through a long process of figuring out who do we pair these interns with. So they're put on their teams. They have a manager there, and that manager is great for mentorship. They reach out every day. They talk with them. They have an open door for these interns. But then also we team pair them up with just a mentor, just somebody we think they have some similar interest in, and and hopefully they get to learn something from them and ask some really great questions. I find that really, I think the interns would also tell you they find it just great to be able to connect with somebody and they get a lot out of it. But then also we do pair them up with executive mentors as well. So
Oh,
they get one meeting with an exec, maybe it's the CFO or the CEO or one of the owners of the company. So they get a lunch meeting with them and just to get to pick their brain a little bit and talk with them, ask them questions. And the execs also talk to them and ask them questions. So it's really awesome experience to see somebody face to face that is like head of the company and you're just an intern. But it's a really cool experience. And I know that, yeah, from 2018, we have a few interns that are still in contact with their mentors, even though they're not here, but they still reach out to them for references. They reach out to them for letters as well. So it's pretty great.
wow, that's incredible that even at the C-suite at Veterans United, they take the time to work directly with interns. That's incredible.
It's amazing.
Um, so when it comes to post internship,
Mhm.
right? Time to find a job. What does that process look like? Internship to hire.
Yeah. So as the interns going through that process, they're looking for opportunities, right? Sometimes that opportunity is right there in front of them. It's with the team that they're working on, and uh, if they're comfortable in that role and they like it and they want to extend their time with the company, that manager will hire them and it just extend instead of just doing an intern, move them into full time when they start. This fall we had the second weekend of our internship, we have one of our interns. I was really excited about him because I knew he would be a good fit for this role. The second weekend, his team was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And he met with his manager and he expressed, "Hey, I would love to stay on. This is right up my alley. I'm really excited about this." And they hired him on full time. He has one more semester. So in December, after he completes, he'll move to full time. So he's going to go part time from summer to fall through the fall. And when once he graduates, he'll be full time with us here. So that's kind of what the process looks like. We help them as they're going through. They shadow. They have the opportunity to do that if they can make it work and it's not interfering with their training or their everyday job. They get to shadow other departments and maybe that person's in production, but they have an HR background. They're interested in HR or they're interested in legal. Sometimes it's a project or it's just a shadow of an hour or two to meet with that team and see what they do day to day to understand what it looks like.
So
Um,
that's really interesting, Jerome, because that means if you are bringing on right interns in so many different departments, it's not necessarily about their interest in the industry, but the job itself. So when you're recruiting your interns, what does that conversation look like?
Yeah, we just have that. That's what it is. It's a conversation. We talk to them. We try to figure out, hey, what are you passionate about? What are you excited about? Do you like talking to people, or do you like a little more behind the scenes? Or what does your dream job look like, right?
Yeah.
So from those conversations, we and a few assessments that we have, and some other things, and their background and what they're studying, we can usually tell, hey, this person would be great in this department. So we try to match that person up the best we can to the department that we think they'd be successful in because that person's going to want to show up every day. They're going to be excited about what they're doing. They're going to communicate well with other people because they don't hate what they do, so they'll be nicer to people. So that we really think about the role and we really think about that person and we try to match them up the best that we can. So mostly just having those conversations, some assessments, some yeah, lots of different factors go into it, but that's mostly it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I know you mentioned at the very beginning, and I want to make sure we address this question from a diversity and inclusion standpoint. I know you mentioned working with HBCUs. I know that's a heavy focus for this internship, making sure you have the right people in the program. How do you go about doing that? How do you recruit for that? What partnerships might you have? How does that work?
Yeah, so we show up. We just go to the places that we're interested in. We've got a lot of universities that we've been frequenting over the years that we've built some relationships with. So Florida A&M, so FAMU, in Florida, we have a couple of interns right now from Howard University, and it's been great all over the country. We've had a ton of interns come in, and it's really great learning about where they're from and what their experience is on those campuses. And what we try to do with the interns that don't stay with us full time, and maybe they have another semester or another year to go, we're working on making them ambassadors for VU where they're at on campus, right? So when we go to visit, they help us recruit, they help us find other students that are looking for opportunities or maybe looking for an internship for the summer. So it's been pretty great to have those relationships building up, and we're still doing it. We're growing. We're still trying to find other campuses to partner with and relationships and build that up.
Yeah, yeah. So we have 3 minutes left, and I think there are two great questions that have come in that I want to point your way. So,
Let's do it.
rapid fire. First one: do you think that there is less turnover in positions when you focus on the student's passion, like you said you do?
Yes,
And have you seen that difference since starting the program?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely. All the time, day to day. We try to get it right the first time. With our company, yes, we're pretty flexible at some points where if somebody's not doing too well in their position, we will try to fight to put them somewhere else. But we try to put them in the right place on the first time because it helps us. It saves time. It saves them from going through a horrible situation where they're not enjoying what they're doing or they're struggling in that position. So yeah, definitely try to put them in the right role from the beginning, and that helps everything.
could I ask, and would you say the immersion internship program, did it start out of a need from talent acquisition, or did it start as a we want to give back and we want to connect with younger talent, or maybe something totally different?
Yeah, I mean, it started, the idea of it, I believe it started back in like 2013, 2014. It was just kind of floating around. But yeah, we know for a fact for us that a more diverse workforce creates a more creative, um, more energizing and inviting and welcoming, inclusive a workspace. So we try to focus on that part first, and then we look at, maybe let's bring this person in from somewhere else that doesn't may not look like everybody, may not believe the same thing this person believes, but could challenge them and help this place be more inclusive so that everybody feels comfortable and they have a space and they feel like they can show up every day and absolutely be themselves.
Yeah, I love it. That's incredible. Okay, so really quickly, what recommendations do you have for an employer looking to set up a similar immersion internship, or any tips of things not to do?
Wow, that's a tough one. We failed, we missed a lot, right? So don't be afraid to fail, but also I would say just try and do it. We have Fortunately for us, we have a lot of support from the owners of the company and the CEO. They are championing this and they see the fruit of it. And so I think it's going directly to leadership, talking with them about being open and honest about, hey, this is why we should do this, and this is why it's important. It's going to be great, but if having that support, it makes it almost impossible to fail.
Yeah. Yeah, I think always having that leadership on board makes everything easier. So I know we're at time. I want to be respectful of all of our attendees, but I have heard, Jerome, that there's one really cool story, one standout intern. So before we wrap, do you want to share that with everyone?
Yeah, so we had one intern that we met at Florida A&M University, and he was walking by our table, and then somebody was like, hey, come over here and talk to us about this opportunity. And he was a biology major. He was thinking of being a doctor. And he came over, he talked to us, and he's like, well, I don't know, it's in Missouri, I have a fiance and we also have a baby, so it would have to be a certain situation. So what we did was like, well, don't worry about that, we'll figure that all out, just come do this internship. So finally, after a lot of talking, we got him here. His fiance came as well, and their baby, and we got her an opportunity with the Inclusive Impact Institute, which is a nonprofit that we partner with here at VU. And he went through the internship got licensed. He is a loan officer with us. His fiance had to finish one more year at FAMU, so we let him work remote from Florida as she finished her school. He came back, she came back too, and she did the internship the next year. They are both still here. He is one of the most top performing loan officers on his team. Like, he blowing everybody out of the water. It's amazing to see it. His dad also moved to Columbia, and he is a loan officer as well. So it's an amazing story of generationally being able to change someone's life. It's really, really cool to have him here, and yeah, thankful for him.
That is really cool. And just give it a few more years, and maybe his son or daughter will also be there. And then you have three generations.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love it. I love it. Well, I know we're 2 minutes over, and Jerome, we promised you only 20 minutes. So we'll wrap it there. That's an incredible story to leave us there with. So thank you so much. This was super insightful and super helpful, and appreciate your time. I think we're going to throw a slide up here with contact information. So if there are any questions that we didn't get to answer, please don't hesitate to reach out. We will definitely get those to Jerome or answer them ourselves. We also have an upcoming webinar with Ashley Dye, our VP of Data Insights, on the 22nd. So we'd love to have you there too. And stay tuned. I think we're going to have a few more sessions. We've had such a great turnout this summer that we might even keep this thing going into the fall. So if you have any ideas, or there's some different topics you want to hear more about, please feel free to email that over to us too. So Jerome, thank you again. This has been super enlightening, and we appreciate your time. Everyone have a great summer.